Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tyler Evans, and I wanted you to know about Braille and the importance that it provides for blind people like me. First of all, before we even go into some of the complexities of Braille, we need to first define what it is. And so by definition, Braille is an alternative method by which blind people can access print. Instead of a sighted person reading the information, the blind person uses their fingers to read. And it's really amazing how that works. Braille has 3 grades that are associated with it: grade 1, 2, and 3. And these are for contracted Braille, which is grade 2. Those are for people who are normal, regular Braille users. And then there's grade 1 Braille, which is non-contracted Braille, where everything is all spelled out. There's no contractions to it. And then there's computer Braille, which is grade 0 Braille, which is quite a complex Braille, which I'm not going to really get into because it can be a little confusing. My focus today is just going to be on grade 2 Braille, which is the Braille that most blind people use. And so what the blind person can do is utilize this system to access print, like basic print. Now the thing is, in order to access the print, there has to be a Braille device, which is an alternative to utilizing print. And we call one of those devices a Braille writer, which allows people like myself and others who are blind to type out information similar to a typewriter, except it utilizes different functions than just a normal typewriter. Whereas with a normal typewriter, you spell out everything. Whereas in grade 2 Braille, you don't spell everything out. There's contractions. For instance, let's say you want to write out the word this. In normal print, it would just be spelled THIS. However, in grade 2 Braille, you have a combination of dots that would spell out that word. Let's take another example, the word world. Basically, in normal print, it's spelled out as expected. However, in Braille, it has certain letter combinations. For instance, let's say you wanted to write the word world out in Braille. Before we even go any further, we have to talk about what Braille is made of. Well, it's made up of what is called the 6-dot cell. And on the left side of Braille, you have dots 1, 2, and 3. And then on the right side of the Braille cell, you have dots 4, 5, and 6. And that's what makes up the Braille that we read as blind people. And so, with that in mind, utilizing any number of these combinations reveals words that could be converted into print with computer technology. But before I, go any further, that's pretty much what we're describing as a 6-dot Braille cell, is what I'm describing to you. And so let's say you want to write out the word world. Well, in order to write the word world out in Braille, you would put dots 4, 5, 6 first in let's say a Braille writer or a Braille note taker. And you would put dots 2, 4, 5, 6 for world. And so basically it would be spelled out in contracted Braille. But there's also Braille, like I said earlier, that can be utilized non-contractually, where everything's spelled out. But I'm not going to go into that today. I think I'll do that maybe on a separate video. And so basically, in order to write properly, as in print in Braille, you have to make sure you capitalize words. And so in order to do that, you have to first type in .6, which is the capital sign in Braille. And then you would type whatever you wanted to type in. For instance, let's say you wanted to type out the sentence, I am John. Well, you would put .6 for the capital sign, .24 for I, and then a space, which is in the middle of the keyboard, like any other keyboard. And then you would put .1 first for A, and then .1, 3, 4 for M, and then a space. And then you would put in a .6 for capital again, and then for J you put in 2, 4, 5, .2, 4, 5, and then O .1, 3, 5, H .1, 2, 5, and then N .1, 3, 4, 5. And then for a period you put .2, 5, and 6. And so if any of those things are confusing to you or anything like that, just comment on this video. I'd be more than happy to answer it. Let's say there are many other things you can type contractually in Braille, such as the word young, the word spirit, the word under. These are all contracted words, by the way. They're not spelled out in regular Braille, the Braille that I alluded to earlier, which is grade 2 Braille. It is spelled out, however, in normal print. So much like Morse code, Braille is a unique language in and of itself. It's complex to those who don't know it. But I would encourage anyone who is curious about Braille or wants to learn it. Because you never know who you will encounter one day. You may either lose your sight, or you may encounter someone who doesn't have sight at all who needs to read something. Well, one of the ways that we blind people can read is through Braille. There's other ways we can read as well. But for our purposes today, I'm focusing on Braille. I might do another video on assistive technology that has allowed us to read print as blind people. But I can do that possibly in a second video, or a third, or whatever. But Braille is a very important tool to use for employment for us blind people, for everyday life, even just for our enjoyment. Braille is a very essential tool to know. And so I would encourage anyone, sighted or not, to learn Braille, because you never know if you ever needed it. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. And like I said, feel free to drop me any comments you have about Braille, and ask me about other contracted words. Obviously, I've only covered a little bit of this. There's a lot more I could go into, but for time, I figured I could just do a short video on Braille. And so I hope y'all enjoyed. Anyway, feel free to comment, and I look forward to your comments. Thank you so much.